Well, welcome everyone to our March user group, WVD user group for Australia and New Zealand. And this is going to be a really interesting session today, and we'll have a lot of fun today with different presentations and people joining us and presenting actually from Netherlands and joining from US as well. So my name is Zane Pritkovs, so I'll be host for today. And so today we have a very exciting, we've got WVD news part will be presented by Roshan. And then second part, the main presentation will be for WVD Connect, Deploy, Go, Liquid demo as well with Q&A followed. Today we have, so we've got Nico and Chuck will be, I believe you guys already here, so welcome as well. And also we've got Roshan here with us, I believe also. Excellent, so let's move on to the next part here. So now, just a few housekeeping. So video and sound check, I suppose we already had a conversation there, so it looks like sound is okay and video too. During the presentations, it's best to actually turn video off to maximize the screen real estate. So I'll just actually do that as well on my side, turn my video off. And also, if you're not presenting, if you could please mute your microphones, and just if you have any questions, just pop them in right into a chat, into a chat bubble, which is in the upper right corner, I believe. So just put any questions there. We will be reading them out and asking them either during the presentation or straight after in Q&A, so they can be addressed then in the Q&A as well. All right, so what else? Yes, so session will be fast-paced and it's already being recorded now. So we've got a YouTube channel where it will be posted also. Okay, so agenda. So that's our agenda for today. We're going through opening, then 6:10 we'll have Roshan presenting WVD news. And at 6:30 p.m. our time, we will then hand over to Nico and Chuck presenting WVD Connect, Deploy, Go, and Liquid demo with Q&A. So that's the exciting agenda. By 7:30, we'll have a final part ending, and we'll have a post kind of open floor there. Everyone could enable video and audio and have just a conversation. And we can also continue with Q&A. So it's kind of a, you know, open time for us all to communicate and socialize as well. And that's that. So, right. So about myself, so I'm over 20 years in IT, and I'm Cloud VDI technology advocate and also Microsoft technologies advocate as well. So currently I'm technical MD at EZIP, which is Cartata Holding Group. So we are a manufacturer of software solutions, which are listed just below there. As you can see, the 4 different squares, different colors there. So it's Cartata Mobility Solutions, ThinPrint, which is more like printing for on-premise solutions, and an EZIP is a cloud printing solution for WVD, and also Teamplace, which is the cloud storage platform similar to, I suppose, OneDrive and the Box. Some of you might know those, of course. So yeah, I'm also host for this user group and organizer for LinkedIn group for Azure, WVD on Azure, and a few other communities as well. Contact details are there also. So yes, so WVD user community has been actually set up coming close to a year now. So we're coming close to anniversary. Very exciting, fast-growing community over the last 12 months. So we we've reached just ANZ, our Australia New Zealand group, have reached now over 200 members, and other groups, especially UK, is really high in numbers, over 200 there. So all the stats are actually will be on the website, and this is the website if you would like to come and visit us, WVDcommunity.com. So you can take a look at all the links and all the information, all the blogs that are being posted there, and so forth. I'll just mention again. So sorry, previous slide. So Neil, McLaughlin, Stefan, and Patrick are the original founders of the community, and they often actually pop in to say hello to our meetup as well. So I'm not sure if they're here right now, or maybe not. But anyway, so let's just move and press forward. Okay, so what to expect? So we actually meeting up once a month and presenting latest news, updates on WVD and hot topics as well. Users, I mean, our members often ask in our surveys what they would prefer as a content, and so we had actually quite an interesting actually content pieces in the past. We had Nerdio presented here. We had FS Logics as well, and a few other platforms like from vendors. Right. So sessions are recorded, and our YouTube channel is actually listed on our meetup page as well. So you feel free to actually subscribe to YouTube channel, so you won't miss any recent updates, recordings being posted there. So highly recommended to subscribe, guys. All right, and physical events, well, we'll see how it goes maybe sometime in the future. So, and this community is for you if you have some content that our members can benefit from. Feel free to post content. Will be, you know, or contact me for content suggestions. So, and yeah, we can then see how we can accommodate this in the upcoming sessions, upcoming months. Okay, so just before we hop on to the next session, actually, I wanted to see where everyone is joining from. If you guys could locate your chat window and just maybe pop in your city, country you're joining from, would be actually really good to see. I know a few, yes, of course. So Dirk from Belgium, so welcome, Dirk. And so we've got. I know that Linda Karen is joining from Netherlands. So welcome, Linda Karen. Nico, yes, also Netherlands. All right. Eero, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name right. Eero, Finland, welcome as well. And Chuck from Chicago, USA, welcome. And Asita from Colombo, Sri Lanka, welcome. And Aaron, welcome from Melbourne. Thanks for joining us today. Aaron's been presenting actually previously on our group, so welcome, Aaron. And all right, so excellent. So let's carry on. And so the next part is, so we've got. I'll just, before I hand over to Roshan for our WVD news, I just wanted to bring to your attention, guys, just a few highlights as to what's happening. So we've got the new WVD Tech Fest has been scheduled for November. So it's November 18th, 2021. So highly recommended, guys, if you already register. The previous session, which was just a few months ago, it was really successful. So there was a lot of content and technical content on WVD, and also very strong presenters as well. So highly recommended. Link is just a simple URL, wvdtechfest.com. So please sign up and register. All right, so next is just a quick update on EasyBlue cloud printing platform for WVD. So there were 5 exciting releases, updates. First one is user portal. So users are now able to log on with their own credentials to user portal and manage their print jobs when they're printing from WVD. Then also email verification. So new admins actually signing up to EasyBlue, they actually need to verify their email address, and that's just a double security requirement there. So improving security. Number 3, email domain reservations. So once email domain is reserved, all users who are using the service who sign up with the email invite, they're automatically added to the organization. So there's no further need to onboard them. So it's just automated onboarding to the system, to the platform. And point 4, cloud driver library. So there were over 225 drivers recently installed, tested, deployed to, for cloud rendering driver library. That's a printer drivers for cloud rendering. And the final one, so the new version of Easy Connector for Print Server was released, and that's the piece that is sitting on remote sites that's actually connecting local printers, publishing them to the cloud platform for EasyBlue. So that's pretty much all from my side. And now, so these are the contact details of mine. I just would like to then, I think, hand over to Roshan. So let's just, Roshan, are you here with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
All right, yes, certainly can hear you. So, all right, let's, yes, there you are. Excellent. I'll just hand over the reins to you for the WVD news.
Sure.
All right, here you go. And excellent. Over to you, Roshan, and I'll turn my camera off so that we can maximize the screen here.
Sure, thank you. Just bear with me for a minute. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so I hope everybody is able to see the screen sharing. Let me also my camera as well. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Roshan. I've been working on Azure for close to 8-9 years now. I've worked with Microsoft, worked with partners, worked with currently working for Ingram Micro, which is a value-added distributor. So except the customer, the end customer, I think I've worked with every part of the channel business. I started my Microsoft journey with SharePoint as a technology. Worked with SharePoint 2007, 2010, 2013, 16. Never got a chance to work on 2019. And then moved with SharePoint, worked on SQL and Exchange, Active Directory, and that's how I got introduced to cloud. Worked on BPOS, Office 365, and then started working on Azure when it was known as Windows Azure. So virtual machines, SQL were some of the initial service that I started working. And now with Ingram Micro, I basically help partners design, develop solutions around Microsoft Cloud and help their customers move from on-prem to cloud, modernize applications. Cloud security is something that I've been focusing on lately as well. So that's about me. I can get in touch with me on my Twitter, or can post your questions to me on LinkedIn. Quite active on LinkedIn as well. So Windows Virtual Desktop is one of those services where Microsoft definitely keeps releasing a lot of new features and functionality. Ignite was one of those events where Microsoft came out with some updates around Windows Virtual Desktop. One of the update was around the Azure Monitor. Azure Monitor now is very tightly integrated with Windows Virtual Desktop. The console of, or the application insights is now within the Windows Virtual Desktop ARM console. So just makes it easier, simple to configure. The template is now available and it definitely gives a very nice insight into how your Windows Virtual Desktop infrastructure is performing, whether it is latency, user session details, whether it is session performance, session host performance, things like this. Windows Virtual Desktop metadata has been talk of town from the time it was released. Initially, only US regions were the only region where you could store the Windows Virtual Desktop metadata information, but now I can see West Europe and some of the EU regions in it. Hopefully, Australia will be in the next release. Australia is one of the regions that we definitely look forward to having it there. The other important update is the certification. This is quite exciting. The certification should be available hopefully the next week or the week after that. Sometime late March is when we are expecting the Windows Virtual Desktop beta certification to be available. Dean Safola, a fast track engineer from Microsoft, has been putting together a nice video series around Windows Virtual Desktop certification. So just wanted to quickly mention about that. A couple of other updates around, again, Ignite. We did have a trusted VM launch, trusted VM feature within the virtual machine made available. It's in public preview. This basically makes sure you take the security to the next level, right? So you now have VTPM enabled on the virtual machines, which give you extra security right from the BIOS or right from the processor itself. That's now you could use virtual machines with trusted launch on Windows Virtual Desktop. Again, it's in preview, so only try and test it. Do not make it available on the production. One session that I highly recommend people to go through, part of the Ignite, was delivered by Stefan and Thomas Hicklings. It was around simplifying image and application management. They actually covered how Azure Image Builder works, what are the options available within the Azure portal now, and they also went into details about MSIX app attach. This is again, I would say, probably the future of application delivery now, and they talk in detail of how the feature works, how they integrated the feature within the WVD portal or the ARM template within Azure, and a very interesting session. I definitely recommend you all watching. Some of the other updates outside Ignite, FS Logic is now installed by default. This is something that I got from Twitter. Again, one of the community leaders, I think, tested it. I have not personally tested it, but it seems that FS Logic is now installed but not configured. So you still need to point your VHD locations to either Azure files or NetApp files, which you're using, but it comes pre-installed. So that's good news. High availability options are now available for Windows Virtual Desktop session hosts. This is a very interesting feature that we were looking forward to, and now it's possible, especially for enterprise customers where they are looking for availability zones and sets. Now you can make it available with session hosts. Christian, a superhero on Windows Virtual Desktop, released a very detailed article on how Microsoft Defender for endpoints can be used with Windows Virtual Desktop. So a very interesting and a very detailed article. Most of our customers either see Sophos or Windows Defender. These are the two endpoint security I see a lot of customers using. And Microsoft, being Microsoft, they definitely came out with a very interesting article around Microsoft Defender for endpoints for Windows Virtual Desktop. So that's one other item which I wanted to point out. Also, I think there's another quick update I missed putting on the slide, which was around what's that? The Windows Virtual Desktop Security Fundamentals Handbook. Again, another Windows Virtual Desktop community hero, Ferric, came out with this detailed security fundamentals handbook for Windows Virtual Desktop. Now that I've been concentrating more on the security, this is again a very good article to go through, and it provides you all the insights into how you can use conditional access, Defender. You can also now manage Windows Virtual Desktop from Intune or Endpoint Manager console. So it takes you through the various layers of how you can introduce security to your Windows Virtual Desktop customers. So that's another very interesting article that came out last week. And last but not the least, like Zane explained, Tech Fest Winter Edition registrations are open. I hope you were able to attend the previous Tech Fest. It was very successful. I think they had a little over 1,000 people attending it. So very good, very useful session. Both technical and pre-sales people enjoyed it. I definitely got a lot of wealth of information from it. So I would definitely encourage you to register as both presenters and attendees. You can definitely submit your sessions if you're interested to present, or definitely register to attend it. So these are some of the updates that I had. Again, like I said, there are several new features that keep coming out for Windows Virtual Desktop. In-place upgrade of Windows 10. That's again something I missed. Sorry. In-place upgrade for Windows 10 is now supported on Azure, and you could use that for your multi-session session hosts as well. So you could potentially upgrade your Windows 10 multi-session used as session host and perform an in-place upgrade for that as well. So these are some of the updates around Windows Virtual Desktop which I wanted to share with the community. If there are any other updates that I not talk about, I would encourage you to kindly unmute and let us all know so that everybody can benefit from it. That's it from my side, Zane.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Roshan, for this presentation here. So, well, this is our quick Q&A, I suppose, after this WVD news part. This is our quick Q&A here, and you guys are welcome to unmute as well. And if you wanted to, ask anything or contribute with any updates on say, post-Ignite, if something really kind of stood out for you, if you would like to share your findings, your learnings, that would be, really, really good, guys. I know that Aaron Parker is pretty big on FS Logics, so and I'm not sure if Aaron has any updates there either, or any items to.
I haven't seen anything from an FS Logics perspective other than that they're going to include it in the images that are in the out of the marketplace.
Right.
Having said that, though, I don't like pulling images out of the marketplace. I prefer to roll my own. So,
right.
How useful is that going to be to people who build their own images? I don't think it's going to be that useful.
Yeah. And Aaron, I also saw that I think you were actually registered for a news presentation. There's going to be global virtual event as well, where you'll be presenting.
I've had my head down creating a video for this event that comes out next month. Nice. Let me see if I can put a link in the chat. So it is called the Microsoft Meets Community event. So I think there was one run last year. Okay. So yeah, I've got a session on Microsoft Endpoint Manager integration with WVD.
Oh, cool! Very nice, very nice. And you've got also your colleague there, James Kindon, joining you there.
Yeah, he's doing an FS Logics one. So he's I think it went much deeper in that session that I did last year now. Including some sort of going into deep dives around Azure storage and the containers and bits and pieces. So yeah, okay. Have a look at that one as well.
Sounds good. So yeah, if you can, if you want to pop in this link to the chat here, that for everyone to benefit. Yeah, it's for the community to benefit. Oh, that'll be good. And no, that's good. Any other say questions or comments on maybe Azure Ignite? Sorry, yeah, Microsoft Ignite event this just last month or this month. Anyone else had anything that really stood out for you guys? Hi there. Thank you for opening this.
Yeah. Wonderful. This is happening on April 9th, so there's still time for people to register. So yeah, I definitely encourage people to participate and get most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, out of speakers, actually, yeah, out of speakers, who's going to be there? So that was a link, right?
Sorry, let me reopen that. Sorry.
No, yeah. Does it have speakers in there?
Yeah, so there is Christian and Dean.
Oh yeah.
There's Aaron Parker. There's Dean Sapola.
Nice.
So Stephen is also speaking here. So I think most of the some of the product team and engineering team and a lot of WVD community heroes are also speaking. So it'll definitely be an evening with a lot of data information around Windows Virtual Desktop. Definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely. I'll need to sign up today, actually, at the end of session too. Cool. Because I already signed up for the WVD Tech Fest, so I just need to sign up for this one. Then I'll be set and ready. All right. Okay. Well, in that case, I think we can have an early mark, and we can hand over to Liquit, guys, if you are ready. So Nico and all right, Nico and Chuck. So who do I make? Excellent. Who will be presenting so that I'll pass on the reins of presenter?
I'll present first, and then Nico will go after me.
All right. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Excellent. I'll make you a presenter now, Chuck.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Here you are.
All right. Thank you, and welcome everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to share what Liquit does. And our mantra, so to speak, is every user, every application, every platform, every device, and we're going to talk to you about how we do that for WVD. We're a company headquartered in the Netherlands. I'm in Chicago in the US. I am responsible for business development globally. And with me today will be Nico Zieck. He is the Director of Technology and Solutions. So I'm the PowerPoint guy. He's the meat and potatoes guy. So, so we've been in business now for over 5 years. We have over 450 customers. We're a proven technology. We've got customers with in upwards of 100,000 users. One of our partners called us the best kept secret in the industry because most of our customers and partners are in Europe. But yet this last year, we decided that we will start to scale globally, and I was brought on about 9 months ago to do just that. We really pride ourselves on our innovation, and our innovation isn't just to please ourselves; it's to bring effective technologies to market so that customers can meet their objectives. And in that, we are a Microsoft partner, definitely a WVD integration partner, as well as we work with Stefan on the MSIX app attach technology. Couple of tidbits. We are a VMware and Ivanti and Citrix partner. Both VMware and Ivanti actually OEM our setup store technology within VMware App Volumes Workspace ONE, as well as Ivanti Endpoint Manager. So in some cases, if you utilize those technologies and are getting set up and release and patch information, it's probably Liquit. We also partner with global SIs like Sogeti and Accenture, Wortel, and of course we are very close partners with Microsoft, and actually we just we're on with a global financial services company that is seeking to move to Windows Virtual Desktop, and wanted to gain some insight on how to convert their applications to MSIX. And what we found, though, is that although MSIX has some great advantages, it's really a means to an end. And the means to the end would be serving and provisioning applications in a Windows Virtual Desktop environment. Now, since we see on average about 30 to 40% of applications converting to MSIX, what's your plan B, right? We're going to talk about that. Doesn't necessarily have to be MSIX in order to provision applications in Windows Virtual Desktop. We provide that capability without the need to convert, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But these are definitely crazy times. And, you know, I think we're all getting sick of talking about it, but the pandemic has shown a lot of organizations that some of their short-term fixes they made when the pandemic hit to get everybody remote really won't sustain a long-term workforce. So they're looking for ways to try to create a well-managed environment with remote users, but also instill some process and best practices again, back to normal, if you will, as much as possible. So we're finding that organizations need to be much more resilient, more flexible. They have to adapt when shift arises, and shit as well, because it's constantly happening. It's constantly out of control, right? So, but the organizations that are preparing for the change and can manage that change are the ones that will be successful. Gartner recently had their top strategic technology trends for 2021. They came out with the concept of anywhere operations, which you'll find the concept outlined in these blue boxes here, which are typically people-centric, but really location independent, of course, resilient delivery, and collaborative, productive, secure. All those really parameters encompass what companies are looking to deliver. Now, we were excuse me, a 2018 Gartner Liquit was a cool vendor, and it seems like Liquit or Gartner kind of followed Liquit in that regard, as we've really kind of prepared our platform over the years to sustain remote workforce and anywhere operations. And being able to provision applications, whether it be convert to MSIX or really just deliver Windows Virtual Desktop, we provide that capability to provision applications, whether it be through Microsoft SharePoint, Microsoft Teams, our own 1.3 megabyte agent on the desktop, whatever it is. We have encompassed the anywhere operations into our platform and are able to deliver applications to, again, every user running on every platform from any device. So from that perspective, we can take a hybrid environment, aggregate those applications to a single workspace for users, and provide that capability where end users aren't interrupted. We do that through our smart icon technology. To the user, it's just a regular icon. I mean, much like, you know, Microsoft Excel or Google Chrome. However, what we do is we contextually deliver those applications based on the user's context. So if I'm in the office on my desktop, plugged into Ethernet behind the firewall, the best way to deliver that application is natively on my device. However, if I'm on a public Wi-Fi in an airport on a personal tablet, I'm not going to use the same parameters and access as I would for the previous situation. So what we've done is behind the scenes of each icon, we've created what we call launch sequences. And those launch sequences are based on the context of the user accessing those applications. It really eliminates the complexity from the user and provides them with just a simple interface where they can click on any icon, and Liquit, because we have an intelligent system, delivers that application in the best possible user experience. So from that perspective, however, not only do we eliminate or remove the complexity from the user, we also make it much easier for IT to manage the environment based on our admin console and the way that we can create these launch sequences based on each particular context. So in essence, it kind of looks like this. You have multiple applications running in various hybrid environments, and that could be SaaS on-prem or you know, based on a server in let's say Citrix or in the cloud. And we can aggregate those applications via Liquit and deliver those to any device. We also help in the provision of applications through Windows Virtual Desktop by making it very easy to provision those applications without having to convert all of your applications to MSIX. And as I said, we'll go through that in a bit. But we also provide a way to, as a single pane of glass, not only for the user to access all their applications, but a single pane of glass for the management of the environment, because we can integrate with various technologies such as Intune, System Center, you know, a workflow or approval, which we provide our own as well, and being able to access all the setups in the setup store for Liquit. We're able to automate a lot of the tedious processes around packaging and managing those applications. We can provide a way to manage a single image within WVD, so you don't have to have multiple images and manage all that. The user profiles and all that is injected into Liquit. Same thing for applications and packaging. So you package once and deliver to multiple users with multiple profiles, all with the logic injected into Liquit. So we really make it easy to not only manage the environment, but also deliver applications, modernize, because we can help in the migration process. If you're moving from, let's say, Citrix VMware or on-prem, we can allow you to move those applications without disrupting the users, but also create a testing environment for you to gradually roll those out, first to power users and then to the entire organization. So with that, I'll stop there. Are there any questions? Okay, well, I'll turn it over to Nico. If you can give Nico the presenter capabilities, then Nico will share his screen.
Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
I need to be presenter. So this was the intro, of course. And thank you very much for the intro, Chuck. I hope everybody is still feeling pretty happy. So presenter, here we go. I will share my screen too. Share. Here we go. So I will start off with just a couple of slides. Yet again, yeah, I'm gonna bore you. So first of all, well, good evening to everybody on the other side of the globe, and especially welcome to my friends from Europe. It's pretty early, so I hope you have a good cup of coffee. I'm on my second, so I really appreciate it. What I would love to do, I want to do some slides, of course, to get a little bit of technical background on what we do. Yeah, very good, Zane. But it's also your session. So if you want to see, hear, or learn something, please feel free to chat, or at least just unmute your mic. It's your session. We're here to play around a little. I love what I do in technical perspective. So from that point, this is the invite. But then again, it's also very important. We've prepared a video. If you want to play around with Liquit, we have a video ready where you can have a guided video how you can set up Windows Virtual Desktop with Liquit and managing your application. So do a deployment, set up a Windows Virtual Desktop connector. And the invite for everybody is, when you're up to it, please contact us. We will give you a live Liquit environment with the video and a fully guided pack so you can start playing with Liquit. It's free of charge, so please. So now it all starts with this. Shift happens. Chuck talked a little bit about it. And what do we do every 5 years? Then your manager steps in and he says, well, you need to build a new workspace. And we do that every 5 years. And why do we do so? Well, because basically we're waiting till the end of the days to migrate something, till the hardware is worn out, licenses are killed, or whatever. And when we do so, it's going to be a major project. And that major project is going to hurt you. That will basically kill all the resources and makes your end users very angry. And what do you get then? Shit happens. You're going to make changes or make decisions which should be temporary, which are going to be there for long term. Liquit wants to change that. Of course, everybody wants to go to Windows Virtual Desktop, and Liquit has over 50,000 users currently running live on Windows Virtual Desktop using our technology. But a big bang migration is something we don't like. And why not? Well, let me start off then. Basically, this is what a typical user environment looks like. And these two pictures do have something in common. And this is something we as IT, as a tech guy, and I'm also a technical guy, we forget about this. On the left-hand side, everybody sees these old school office workers, and these guys well, simply basically don't really are technology enabled. They do work with computers, of course. They have a smartphone, just like my mother. She can send a text, but basically it's filled with errors. The right-hand side, you see a modern guy. I call him a hipster with his smartphone. And I'm also that guy with a smartphone. I'm having a smartwatch and an Apple phone. And everybody thinks, well, he's tech native. Yes, he is, a little, but not as much as we IT think they are. And why not? Well, looking at myself, so I'll take myself as an example. When I have an iPhone, why do I have an iPhone? Because it's stupid simple. I download an app, it simply works. No matter what kind of app it is, it works. I download it, it works. My password is coming from a keychain or a suggestion what my password should be. And whenever I get the request, would you like to allow yes, everything? I really don't care about it. And when there is an update, please don't bother me. Install my update. So basically, the guy knows how to work on WhatsApp. He knows to work his Instagram and TikTok, that strange platform also. But corporate IT is simply not sexy. It's not sexy for everybody because we need to work, not per se because we want to work. I love what I do, but if I can choose from going to the beach or going to work, I choose a day to the beach above everything for work. So that said, why is it so complex for an end user then? Why are they so frustrated? This is something we do in the back end. And this is a real world picture. This is something you see on a day-to-day basis, like 43% of the companies still do have one or more machines running on Windows 7 inside their company. There are good reasons to do so. A legacy application, a legacy system that can't be migrated yet. We need to provision it to our end users. But on the other hand, 45% of the companies are already running in the hybrid cloud. And I think it's growing every day. I think most companies don't even understand the hybrid cloud. A hybrid cloud is something we as IT guys see as complete logical. Other identities, other services, someone else's computer stuff is running on. But for an end user, it's just another shit happens. Just another transition next to the other one and next to the other one. we want to make that easy for you. And if you want to go to Windows Virtual Desktop from your on-premise, for the end user, it's another transition. And they get something like this. I know everybody is familiar with the phrase, Citrix doesn't work. Is it really Citrix? Is it? Or is it the application or setting that's not working, or the Citrix receiver that needs to be updated on the endpoint, or the connection that's not stable enough? It's almost next to never about Citrix, or for that matter, Windows Virtual Desktop. And what do we want to change about that? So Liquit is in its base form a lot of things. I can't explain it all in this session. I will focus on Windows Virtual Desktop, but this is just a small intro. But Liquit is a deployment solution creating your images on your PC, on your laptop, on your Windows-based tablet, on your thin client, on your Citrix environment on-premise, but also on your cloud systems. We have an agent available which will communicate over port 443. So the only thing I need to do to manage my Windows Virtual Desktop environment is install my agent. Then it's accessible. The same thing for Amazon. One step to make things easier. The other thing is we're also workspace management. We deliver every application in every form. So plan A is app attach, plan B is perhaps app V, plan C is like a traditional unattended installation, but then we inject settings upon launch of an application. The result is we can deliver any app easily into Windows Virtual Desktop without complexity. And the other thing is we do access management to a portal-driven workspace. Enough to chew on. What do we do for the end user? And I think this is pretty important. We decouple the apps from what's going on the back end. So you're not on the Windows Virtual Desktop platform from one day to the other. It's a step. And instead of doing a big bang, what we can do, we can create smart scenarios, as Chuck just showed you. So you see, the user sees a bunch of icons, or a desktop for that matter. And those icons can be placed inside your start menu, inside our portal, inside Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, and any other website you want us to run on. That's the go-to place for the end user, just like Citrix Workspace, but then more fancy on the applications. Because we don't do only micro apps, we deliver everything on any device. And much cheaper, by the way. Then you see the user sees an application like SAP, and I will click on it. I'm on my corporate laptop inside my office, and we will text, well, you're inside the office. I'll click on it, launch my local application. And if it's not there, we will install the physical application on your local device. In the afternoon, I'm the same user. I will go, I'm going to work from home due to a little virus called COVID-19. Basically, I'm working from home. I open up my laptop. Liquit will detect, hey, you're on corporate laptop, but you're working from home. You have a good, stable internet connection. Let's set up a VPN connection. The user will click on the same SAP icon, and there also is an update. When you click on the application, Liquit will install the local update, so you're always up to date. Liquit has a built-in DTAP staging mechanism. Now in the evening, I'm the same user, and the same user needs to write his hours in SAP, and I'm going to grab my iPad because my manager is breaking my I want to say his testicles, but is behind my back. I will go to, on my iPad, go to the same icon. I will click on it, but then Liquit will detect, wait, there is no an SAP iPad app available. We'll revert the user to Windows Virtual Desktop in a seamless session. The result is the user will keep clicking on the same icon over and over and over again. But you can choose what will go on the back end. So today we're in a Citrix environment, and you want to go to the Windows Virtual Desktop environment, but for the end user, nothing will change. So we can create scenarios without big impact. And changes. So imagine this, you have a Windows 10 operating environment, but you need to migrate to new Windows 10 build because simply you have to maintain your environment. A lot of companies don't do that. Why don't they do that? Because one or multiple apps are not compatible with that specific Windows 10 build. What if Liquit is able to update those machines, but then redirect that specific app into Windows Virtual Desktop? Then the users that are not migrated yet will launch the local app, but all the others will go to Windows Virtual Desktop until the time that the application is updated. If the user doesn't see the difference, it's fine for us. We can play around. So this is what Microsoft is saying. The user experience itself is going to span all of your devices. So Liquit can work with all these technologies on the back end and every application. So we support normal applications. Then we support MSIs. We support AppV. We support MSIX, we support MSIX App Attach, and everything in the middle of it. Software as a service, of course. So that's about the intro, what we do. Now let's focus on what we do specifically for Windows Virtual Desktop. And I've prepared some slides, of course, some videos, and I have a live environment later on in this session to show you, of course, live what we can do, because I love live. So first of all, the question I get quite a lot, where can you run Liquit? You can do it on premises if you like. You can run it from the cloud. We offer it as a software as a service, or from your own cloud. We can do multi-tenancy, of course. We can do basically whatever you want. And you can do it hybrid. Our backend service will communicate over port 443, as same as the front end. So no matter where they are, they can sync. Easy as that. It should be flexible. So whenever you think of flexible, you think this should be possible. And why Liquit for Microsoft? So I said, I'm focusing on Windows Virtual Desktop, but if you want to learn more about what does Liquit more about around workspace management, migration scenarios, please feel free to reach out, because I can talk about Liquit for hours, and I've been working for the company for 3 years now, and still learning every day what we can do even more. But what we say for what we are for Microsoft, the ultimate migration platform to Windows Virtual Desktop. We support basically every Windows Virtual Desktop version. So we support even Windows 10 multi-session images. We do the workspace management on Windows Virtual Desktop. We provide single sign-on. We do image deployment and application management and delivery. So end-to-end management for Windows Virtual Desktop, but also end-to-end management on your local endpoint, and it's coming from the same license. So some unique features: we're a single pane of glass for the end users, coming from all platforms. We work with our connectors, which can connect to Windows Virtual Desktop, but at the same time to Citrix and other backend systems like SCCM, for instance. You can combine it, so it's no more a big bang migration. We provide single sign-on into Windows Virtual Desktop from your local endpoint. We can deliver seamless migrations to Windows Virtual Desktop using the smart icons, as I just showed, and I will show you to live. And one of the cool features we have, we've got a setup store with over 3,000 titles, which you can select, where you can create a package without packaging. It can be updated automatically using our smart wizards. So you don't have to update your Citrix receiver or your Google Chrome anymore by hand. It will be automated, so you can focus on the cool stuff. So let's start with the first step. Step one is connect to Windows Virtual Desktop. Easy as that. You want to have your apps out of the Windows Virtual Desktop environment. So how does it work? And this is a video I will talk you through. We're in a Liquit management interface. We go to our connectors. We are currently connected to Windows Virtual Desktop. It's already created per demo. And here you see it's a Windows Virtual Desktop one. And we give the packages. The idea about this is we connect to it, to the backend control plane of Microsoft with a service account, an SSO template, and an install dependency. Now you select what kind of values do you want to sync. Is it like, do you want to give an alternative name inside Liquit, where we sync it all? Do you want to create a snapshot out of it? So Liquit has integrated DTAP staging system and snapshot mechanism. And here you see the application we've read out of Windows Virtual Desktop. And it's the exact same as you see in your RDS control plane, of course. The idea behind this is, it's the same feed, and we use support the ARM and non-ARM versions at the same time. So there's not a difference for us. The idea behind this is, now we're connected to Windows Virtual Desktop, read out automatically all the applications. You can do that also for Citrix and also for your AppV applications, for instance. You can combine it. If something changes, if you decide not to manage your WVD environment with Liquit on the backend, we can still read out these applications automatically. And if something changes, it will be self-synced into Liquit. So for the end user, it's always accessible. That's the backend. So now step two, we're going to deploy. What can Liquit do? We'll first look what we do on Windows Virtual Desktop. An image is very complex to create on Windows Virtual Desktop. There are solutions like Nerdio, which I particularly like. Liquit can also do it itself. But you look at what Microsoft is offering. Basically, it's all up to you, because Intune isn't doing too well for deploying, or basically anything. Intune, I like Intune, but Intune is great for deploying single applications and static policies. If you need to have more flexibility in your environment, Intune isn't simply up for the task. System Center is meant to do on-premise deployments. and it's still quite static. System Center is infamous and famous for its, well, guesstimate. Something will happen somewhere in between now and the next 15 minutes. That's something you don't want to do. You want to do it just in time deployment because you want to have clean applications and inject settings into them. So what can Liquit do? We deploy the images, we create the images. We create a plan A, B, C for your applications to deliver all your apps inside your Windows Virtual Desktop environment. Plan A, of course, everybody wants to go to app attach, but app attach shouldn't be a goal itself. The reason you want to do that is you want to have modern applications, but you also want to have the flexibility and a clean image. So plan B might be your app V, but plan C is like, I have my unattended applications, regardless of the form they're in, and when on starting up, we inject the settings and remove the settings on shutdown again. Then it's easier to update your applications, and that's something Liquit can also do. And of course, manage your workspace settings with Liquit. We do the drive mappings, the registry settings, and all the stuff, ODBC settings, Windows updates, all coming from one single management interface. How does it work? Well, there are the last one is already in place, but there are multiple options to deploy an image with Liquit. Get a standard image from the marketplace, install the Liquit agent, the deployment run automatically, the image will be captured automatically, and you're done. Of course, you can use a standard image from a session host, run a custom PowerShell extension, which will install the Liquit agent, deployment is run, and you're done. Basically, Liquit will do it all by itself. And the agent will run over port 443. So if your Azure environment is not fully up and running, you can manage it from on-premise. But we can deploy all your apps and settings, any app, any setting, to any WVD pool. And now we're going to look at MSIX and how we can repackage it. That's something I just had a discussion with a major bank. They want to go to MSIX app attach. They said, what is possible? Well, first of all, think of this. Roughly 10, 15, or 20% is able to migrate to MSIX app attach. It's very limited. It will grow, it will grow, it will grow, but it shouldn't be a goal itself. But Liquit is ready for it.
Yes, so, Nico. Yeah, go on. Sorry. Yeah, carry on. It's a live video there.
It's on pause, so recording. Please ask me questions. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So we have our member here, Dirk, is actually having a question, asking a question. Can you elaborate on that integration with, let's see, what elaborate on that integration link with SCCM and Intune?
Dirk, would you like to, depending the location, sorry, but where is the, okay, can you elaborate the integration link with SCCM and Intune?
Mm-hmm.
So Dirk, I think it's a good question. So with Liquit, the idea is about one thing that shouldn't rule out the other one. So we think, as an IT admin, you should be able to use the technologies you would like to do. We are here to give you flexibility. So what we can do, we can connect to System Center and push our applications directly into System Center, or Intune for that matter. Of course, with the limitations both platforms have. The other way around, we can also get applications out of it and inside Liquit. You can choose, do you want to let Liquit do the deployment? Do you want Intune to do the deployment, show the icon from Liquit, or it's a two-way communication we can deliver. I hope it answers your question a little bit, Dirk. If not, let me know. You can simply unmute.
And well, I just was doing. Sorry. No, what I mean is SCCM and Intune are also different options than the application part. We have customers using Intune, for example, for mobile device management.
Yep.
So one of the reasons they want to use Intune is well, it's already in the license, so it's also a pricing point, of course. But adding Liquit to it or any other tool is, of course, adding price to it.
Yep.
So I suppose you have somewhere some kind of, we'll call it battle sheet that explains the added value of Liquit on top of Intune and SCCM compared to just using SCCM and Intune.
Yeah, there are. Well, not of Liquit. We don't do battle cards, but we've got a good couple of references for you, Dirk. It might be the city of Eindhoven. You can look at our website. There's a reference case. So what they did, and I'll try to elaborate about this. They had a VMware. So this is about the number 5 cities in the Netherlands. We've migrated these guys. So this is a little bit off, but I like this interaction, by the way. So they had a VMware workspace, a VDI workspace. And they came to the phase that they said, well, it doesn't perform for multimedia and it's like the shit happened. So they need to do something. But the platform was just 2 years old. It was on Nutanix hardware. It was big and expensive, but it didn't work out for them. They figured out like it covers just like 60% of the users. The other 40% are running on local stuff. So what we've helped them to. So they said, well, we're going to Microsoft 365. So Office 365, Intune, Autopilot. But they found out the limitations that Intune and Autopilot have currently. So deploying complex applications, even Office deployments, is a click-to-run application, not a fully unattended installation. They couldn't deploy their custom apps in a good fashion because what a lot of applications will do, they need configuration after their unattended deployment, or your packaging is getting extremely complex and costly. So I can create a generic package or an easy package and then afterwards push some settings. So that's something Intune can't do. What Liquit also enables that company to do is like, okay, the majority is now on VMware, but we're going to lower the load on VMware, and at the same time we're going to transform that hardware for a remoting application to RDS, and at the same time migrate to Windows Virtual Desktop. And Liquit is deploying it also, the image on Windows Virtual Desktop. So we are the solution to deploy the endpoints after Intune has finished their base policies, which are quite static. They deploy the agent with Liquit. We'll do the dynamic application configuration on all platforms. At the same time, we manage the VMware platform. At the same time, we deploy the RDS and the Windows Virtual Desktop platform. And that's the advantage you get with Liquit over the other solutions. But I'm more than happy to tell you more about that case later on, perhaps in a private session.
Yeah, okay. And maybe I should elaborate on my second question also. Is you said that depending on the location, for example, you will have different settings for an application. Yep. So it could be that you're in the office, you will use the locally installed installation, and that locally installed installation goes to the database which is within the local data center. If I'm remote, I will probably use the same application maybe through WVD.
Yep.
But if I'm using it through WVD, I will need to connect to that same database which is in my local data center. So I suppose it will somehow be able to change the settings to point to the correct database, for example.
Correct. Yeah. So what we can do, we can change on application startup, we can change specific settings. So we can change an ODBC, we can change a registry file, we can change an INI or an XML file just to point out to the right location using the right path. And that's the power of Liquit. It's like a generic app which is installable on your endpoint and inside Windows Virtual Desktop and on your on-premise, let's call it Citrix. And based on the behavior where the user is or where he or she needs to log on, we will change the configuration of the application dynamically.
Okay. Two little side questions which are related to what you answered is, let's say I have my laptop, which I use locally in the office, but which I use also locally in my home office. It's the same device. I might have the same application already installed as I used it first in the real office. Will it be able then to detect, because it's the same device, the location, and then depend on the location, still make that change to the settings?
Yep, you can.
Okay. And then
the agent is running over I just see some private text about over standard internet ports.
Okay.
My colleagues are joking on Teams that I can't use 443 anymore. I can connect. So I'll show you. I'll switch it over. So this is Liquit.
Okay.
And here I am running. I'm running on a small VM, running in the Windows 10 home situation. And basically, you can see it's a small VM, not the main joint. So I click on my paint. I'm controlling my paint, and it launches locally. But I will show you how it's configured. This is the smart icon. And I love this part. It will start my paint on my local device and I can set this myself. And this one is really short, meet the requirements. Simple file. Otherwise, it will follow the workflow. And I'll show you when I change the parameters. Here I have the folder. I will delete it. It's easy. So I will go back to my workspace. I just deleted one parameter, same device, same location, but now the parameters changed, and now it will launch a Windows Virtual Desktop session.
Okay.
So this is what we call smart icons. We can make those scenarios work for you.
And then going maybe one step too far, sorry, in the logic is you're doing it now depending on device and location.
Yep.
Can I use this as a way to load balance? No, not to load, yeah, to load balance.
Yeah, you can.
Because we currently have a situation, customer has a Citrix farm, wants to go to WVD, but his idea was to overload to WVD, where we didn't want to have the problem of having to manage several images, because we would have a Citrix image and a WVD image. A change would mean change 2 images at least. So if I understand correctly, with Liquit, you don't have to do this anymore because you only have one image. But is it able to, depending on the load of a system, and I don't mean the local system of the user, but the server system, depending on that load, point to a different location?
Yeah, that's possible. So let me show you. Here it starts local device, then it goes to my RDP, and I have filters on my on-premise RDP, in this case, if you're not migrated yet. But I can create filters just in the things I want to do, if a process or a specific load is on a server, or even if the server is online. Otherwise, we'll fall back to Windows Virtual Desktop, and we're able to spin up those machines if you like to. So I can create actions around this, like, okay, I can create a script, run upload a script. I can create a small script. So check if system is not full. I'm not scripting it, but otherwise spin up WVD. And I can say, well, run upload a script and only do this task when I meet the requirements. I can create everything around this to create this workflow. And this is actually real world scenarios. So
you already had
into this Dirk after this piece, because I will show you a little bit more about Liquit.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just changing the program live a little bit, so I hope you guys don't mind.
We can talk about this offline afterwards if you want, no problem.
Yeah, it's perhaps a good idea. I think it's a good idea. We'll set up a follow-up.
Yeah, sure. I'll send you a little email and then you have my details.
Yeah, perfect. So everybody now is looking at Liquit. This is our workspace, and you saw how I migrated already from Paint locally to Windows Virtual Desktop seamlessly for an end user. Goal achieved. It doesn't hurt. So my icons for Liquit can be located just in my start menu, and I selected this one just to run in your start menu. You see it's an app attached. It can be, of course, in our environment. Let's show you this, and this is in Microsoft Teams Online. This is also my workspace. And it takes a little while to load, of course, but what I'm trying to show you here, and this is actually our Liquit live Teams, and this is where my colleagues, as you see, are also chatting about the session. This is also my workspace. This is my end-to-end workspace now. So what just happened? You are logging on into Microsoft Teams Online. We will single sign on you into Liquit Workspace. Liquit checked on my local device, all my attributes, and who am I. So it's a combined authentication. And here we say also, what should we deploy, configure, and manage on my local device, and how are my icons operating? Where does the user get redirected to in this scenario? So local or Windows Virtual Desktop. And basically, I can launch any application I want. So I know for sure for a fact that this is an AppV application, which I can click, and it will run on my local device. And here it is. It's a really small app, of course, but it's run on my local device. And as shown before, I'm able to launch that Windows Virtual Desktop app, whereas my Paint, I use the generic one. It's here on Windows Virtual Desktop. For me, as an end user, I'm not bothered anymore. And of course, you can publish desktops, you can publish everything. And it can be on SharePoint, it can be on any other site. The real intelligence is going behind all these icons. To show you, we are currently connected to an interface. We're currently connected to Windows Virtual Desktop. I can also create connectors to Citrix, Liquit, other Liquit environments, so multi-tenancy, multi-locations, print server, system center, RDS, basically any platform you want us to connect to. like Okta or other solutions. So basically, there are quite a few options. What do we do for Windows Virtual Desktop? We are connected to this, as I showed in the connector, but this one is connected to the non-ARM and ARM version at the same time. We can do that at the same time. So what Microsoft is saying, you need to migrate, we say, not necessary, it's just fine. We can make your decisions. Use a service account, an Azure AD app, and we've specified a single sign-on credential template. This means that Liquit can also connect to the local AD and Azure AD at the same time, if you like, and we can play around with some of the identities, if you will. So you don't have to migrate it in Big Bang, helping your customers again, helping your end users again. And we do an install dependency, which basically means that I will install the remote desktop client before launching an application. So I'm pretty much sure that every time a user will click on a WVD app or a Citrix app, if you run on Citrix, the agent is up to date, configured with the configuration parameters from your company. No more mistakes. It will save you a ton of service desk tickets, even on this point. Then I simply say, okay, let's browse my live applications, and I'll do this live. And this environment is created and deployed by Liquit. We've created the image. We do the image management and the workspace management around this. And here you see all the apps we've currently provisioned. And that means that my modern digital workspace coming from anywhere, so this one is just a URL I can go to, and this one, of course, also is always available. And here I can serve any application. So here I find my smart FTP, and this is our MSIX. Now, well, it continues. What we actually did, and it's still booting up on the back end, we started this MSIX app on my local machine. And see, here we deploy the actual app. And if you know MSIX and MSIX app attach are basically the same applications, but then with a virtual block behind it, which will be mounted to your WVD machine. It doesn't work on the local machine, so I need to show MSIX. And if we simply start the app, we can create these tasks without any issues. But then sometimes you need to fall back on traditional deployment methods. So everybody knows about the TNS name from Oracle. It's a headache. We have here like the Oracle MSI installation, and we have also working that more traditional solution. What we simply do, we can upload a directory, create a directory if it's not there. Install the client with, well, basic variables, and then just do the setup. You are able to create every application in its own form. Liquit can create an image. And as Dirk said, can we make one single image out of it? Yes, we can. So what a lot of companies are doing, and this is something I want to envision, and this is something personal I like. What everybody is doing is we create an application. Usually we create an MSI installation. What we do, an MSI, app v, app attach, it doesn't matter. What we do with that application, we build in everything. Your home your web page, your security settings. And when you need to update that package, we need to do that for Windows Virtual Desktop. We need to do it for your endpoint because it are different installations. In my personal opinion, you don't want to do that because everybody is looking for app v to gain that flexibility or even app attach. If you lower that down a little bit, you can do this. We inject a specific setting for a specific platform. So I can say, well, this setting will only be required for my Windows Virtual Desktop machines. So Windows Virtual Desktop. This will only be done, this specific registry key from a Windows Virtual Desktop environment. Now I can create another action, registry key, import registry file or something. It doesn't matter, set registry value. I'll make a dummy one. This one will only work for my, and this, I'm doing this all live for my Citrix servers. But I not only have Citrix servers, of course, I also have a Citrix test environment, which is basically the same. Citrix test environment. So I'll create an OR out of it. One of these two needs to be true. Now I have a generic application, and where on install, we will tag the platform, and it's one unified application. So here you see our DTAP staging system. What will happen? I will provision this to my test environment. We will create a snapshot. If I screw it up, it can be reverted. But this change is now already committed in my deployment. Usually you have a Citrix golden image, a Citrix test environment, thin client, VMware, Windows Virtual Desktop image. We can lower that down to one image because our Citrix servers will get all the tasks running in a production environment. Citrix test environment will only do the test applications. HP laptops and the Windows Virtual Desktop will do the production, but will skip the specific Citrix tasks. And if you change that application, that specific setting will probably still work. And it's always automatically committed into this image. One image for all platforms. So now we have created one image for all platforms. We've created a unified front end for the end users, seeing all the apps. And now we can play around with the actions on the back end. So this one goes to Excel Online. And now I'm getting that hybrid scenario where it followed this workflow. I was playing around with the other one. We try to look for Excel on your local machine, but only if you're on Windows platform. I don't have it, so we skip this task. Then we try to run the iOS app natively on your local iOS device, but only if your platform is iOS. Might be that you're in a migration scenario. Let's run that old school Excel variant. And then I go to online. And that happened for me. The result for me as an end user is I can always work. And everything I'm doing locally, I can do that on Windows Virtual Desktop. I can do that on basically any platform I would like. Click, connect, and deploy. And another cool feature, now you need to update your applications. And this is something, I was a packager, I seriously hate. So I'm going to a setup store. I want to have an application. So let me show you. I will browse our setup store and a bunch of applications, well, not a bunch, a lot of applications will pop up. And now we need to update your Adobe DC, which a good packager will do in roughly 4 hours. So let's do that live in like 2 minutes or something. I will update my package and I'll say this is for my test users. Next, then we do the security screening on this app. We check the compatibility the CV numbers, malware, antivirus, and hash codes. If something is wrong, you see a big red bar. You can also go to the vendor information, and Liquit monitors these applications 24/7. If there is a new version, it will be downloaded automatically into our setup store. What we do then is we check for intelligence inside that application. We serve you a template. How do you want to create this application without doing your packaging yourself? So I can set a preference inside this application. Add remove programs. How do you want to configure it? When I think my application is done, I'll make my default viewer, save, next. And for who is this application? Well, on Windows Virtual Desktop, the pool 1, I want to install this application when the device starts up. Install it automatically. Confirm. But then only the production application. On my Citrix test environment, I want to give the test application. And also on device startup, install the application. Confirm. Create it automatically. It will be deployed. And for Nico, as me as an end user, I want to get this application as I'm a tester in my catalog. And I can also set a workflow for approval for a manager or something. Confirm. So no push actions. Now my package is done. We download the application. We're going to create an MSI out of this automatically. Include the transform file, including your shortcuts, and your complete packaging process is done in your test stage. It will take a little while to process this. And when it's done, and the end user can already run it, and my images on my Windows Virtual Desktop and Citrix are already updated. No questions asked. And now the output is going to be an MSI. And in just a couple of seconds after this is finished, because it's a big, huge package, I will show you how we can do that on App Attach. So, package is managed by the connector named Liquit Setup Store. Here you see the package. What do? We download the application to a temp.dir, which is a variable. We download the custom files, your transform file. We have created an MSI, silent parameters. We create a log file for you, and we apply the transform file. And after that, we clean up our own mess also, which of course you want to work clean. And you can start the application. And now you say, well, let's inject some settings. Okay, install. I can say, this is a generic application. I need something specific for this application. Let's give a font type. Install a font. I can browse the font and only want to do that for a specific set of devices, as said, with filters. When there is an update about this application, so there's test one, I can stage this to production. When there is an update, Liquit can reuse the template, download and configure the application again automatically to your test stage or production, whatever you like, without any IT interaction. We will override only this task. So if I created some specific custom task, we don't override it. Then users can test it, create a snapshot for your acceptance users, and bring it to production. And I already can start working on a new one. So we can automate the recurring packaging work using the smart icons. And yeah, it shows up in my catalog and I can click on it. I'm not going to install it because it's a big application, but it's here now in my workspace automatically. And now I can decide, does it go into Windows Virtual Desktop, yes or no? So that's a little bit about Liquit, and I'll show you some cool stuff about, but I need to do that per video because I didn't prepare that one, about how we can create an MSIX. So this is the video. I'll click on it. So here we are in the setup command. There's an offline tool. We are going to connect to one of the systems. In this case, Liquit Workspace. Can be other systems. On the right-hand side, you see the application inside Liquit popping up. On the left-hand side, we have an MSI. We are going to transform that. This is the vendor MSI. And what we're going to do, this is the template we have in our setup store. So this is something, instead of manual packaging work, we can simply select the parameters we like or we don't like. We're going to disable the auto updater. And converting Notepad++ to an MSIX is complex because the plus signs are not allowed. This is going to be a transform output, is not allowed in a MSIX. And now we're going to transform this out-of-the-box MSI we've created with a transform file into an MSIX. And without scripting, Liquit is just going to ask you some questions about this, where it needs to be located. And we use the Microsoft tool, but we're bringing our own intelligence. What is going to be the input and what's going to be the output? An MSIX, an XML, an MSI, and a VHD. These are the parameters Liquit creates it itself, and we simply click on Start. We're going to boot up the Microsoft repackaging wizard, but inject our intelligence in it. And you see it takes a little while to process. But here you can see we can transform these applications, only the ones who are compatible with the current MSIX app attach platform today, automatically to MSIX. This is your plan A. Then plan B might be your current application platform migrated simply to Liquit and still run everything without scripting on Windows Virtual Desktop in hybrid. It's created. The only thing now we need to do, and we'll show it to you, is upload it into your Liquit environment. So this is the output. And we're going to add it to your Liquit workspace. And when we're done, we will automatically create these tasks without scripting. All the intelligence is built in, no questions asked. And here it is. This is created by Liquit, and it looks on the Liquit side, it looks like this. We've created all these tasks. You need to attach a virtual disk. And then, of course, we need to mount it. They can also be FS Logic profile containers, by the way. Stage the disk can also be Liquidware apps. Stage it for the end users. Register the app for the user inside your virtual session that Windows knows where it is, and then start the app. And on shutdown, we'll uninstall, remove the app again so you have a clean virtual machine. Extremely simple, but keep in mind it simply doesn't work for all your environments, for all your applications. So now we can also show that on the end user side. How does the end user see this working from an end-to-end perspective? So this is a video where we first go through all on the back-end stuff, as I showed before. Basically, you have two stuff. One on the front end, is what the end user will see. And this is in our environment. You see it's entitled for Alex and a Windows Virtual Desktop account. Alex is one of our developers, by the way, also in the session. So if you have any cool development questions, please ask. You're going to install the dependency, the remote client. And then we're going to open the Windows Virtual Desktop app created by the Liquit connector. So this complete package is created automatically, including that install remote desktop client. That one is coming from a setup store and maintained automatically with your custom company settings. Here you see the same package is titled to the same persons, but that is the backend one. The user doesn't see it. Here you see all these tasks I showed before, but yeah, it's a video, so I need to talk through it. Test the same virtual disk again. And where's the mount point? And this one, as said, is created by the setup commander. We didn't do anything by hand, but you can all create custom apps. So it's mounted to the system drive. This is the application name. And this is something we didn't figure out ourselves. It's created by Liquit. And we register the app, of course, for an end user. The only thing you can change is set filters for who, when, and where. And then you can start the app for an end user. Same tasks again. And of course, the uninstallation. But the power is, so I showed you how to create on a backend in the previous video. And this one will cut over to now, we're going to management, we're going to show the user experience on the front end. So now we're going to switch view. First, I'm going to show you there's nothing, no remote desktop client and no application on this device. So there's no RDP installed, RDS client. This is the end user. I'll simply click on the app. Liquit will install the remote client on the local device. Do the single sign-on into the session. Initiating remote configuration. We manage the Windows Virtual Desktop machine on the back end. And now you're going to see, we're going to mount live, register the app attached app for Windows Virtual Desktop, and it runs. This is what the end user will see. Basically, we manage this end to end. So the image created by Liquit, application app attached created by Liquit, mounted by Liquit, served by Liquit, and the endpoint also served by Liquit. This is basically the platform we have. Manage everything, and I can go on and on, but I want to show you this one because I think my time is about up. This is just about what we do for Windows Virtual Desktop. If you want to learn more, which I encourage to, please get your own personal Windows Virtual own Liquit environment. It's free of charge. We give you free training if you like. It's on our website. It's a free hands-on days-long training, which is really free. You can contact us or follow us on LinkedIn. And I really hope you enjoyed what I just showed. But are there any questions before we proceed?
All right. Well, let's open up to questions to Q&A here. Thank you so much, Nico, for this presentation. There's a lot packed into this.
Yeah.
A lot of info, and of course, being limited in time, we're kind of running through this, or, you know, very quickly. But
it's just to give you an idea about what is possible. There's so much more, and this is only the thing we do for Windows Virtual Desktop. So Eero has welcome from Finland, by the way, our northern neighbors closely, has a question about pricing. So pricing, Chuck, can you tell us something about the euro pricing? Yeah, okay. Pricing is based on
yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Well, yeah. So pricing is based on named users and up to 5 devices, and it really depends on the scope and capabilities that you're looking for. But on average, it's about I think somewhere around $4 per user is
29
average
euros.
list price.
Retail price is for Liquit Workspace, excluding the setup store, 29 euros per user per year. That is the retail price.
Yeah.
It gives you access to. It says it's limited to 5 devices, so you can manage your laptop, your thin client, your PC, your Citrix environment, but also your Windows Virtual Desktop environment. And it's not metered, so you can also include it to your next environment. So it's extremely flexible. We think we should be able to provision this to all your resources. So imaging deployment on all your resources, workspace management on all the resources, portal workspace, and it should be flexible. Any other questions?
Great. Well, we are moving into this part now, I suppose, end of official, but we can still do Q&A now, and everyone is welcomed to enable cameras, unmute, and we can just have an open floor discussion now as well, guys. So feel free to, if you would like to put cameras on, you can. So, and Dirk's question, Dirk, were your questions answered there? All of them, or did you have any more?
Oh, I have a zillion more. No, but I already sent a mail to Nico. I think it would be good to have a separate offline talk / meeting about this. I think what Chuck said, that some of the customers said that it was a hidden or an unknown gem. I can understand it. I mean,
best kept secret. Yes.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, right. Sorry. It seems to have a lot of possibilities. I do see a lot of options, especially if you have a kind of a mixed environment. Well, that's where I see most of the possibilities in a mixed environment during a long migration phase, for example, or in an overflow situation, like I said during my previous question. So very interesting. Happy to have well, found this or discovered this. So thank you for this.
Love it. And I think you're absolutely right for long transitions. But looking at the recent past and longer past in IT, there is only one thing: shift happens. Transitions will always be the majority of the work we do. Will always be what needs to be better for end users, because we bully the end users with migrations. We think they're cool, but if we migrate to a new platform, the end users getting frustrated because they need to do their work and are not looking forward to having a new platform. So with Liquit, you can make that seamless. And as a tech guy, I can finally play around with the stuff I like.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Would you say that the Liquit product is a pretty good, pretty mainstream and really helpful to, say, MSPs, managed service providers, if they're migrating users, on board onto their environment, if they're migrating companies?
Yeah. So the actual environment I just showed you is running 699 subtenants below this. So it's for MSPs. And the cool thing is, what we can also do is we can connect even on-premise or multi-tenant Liquit environments to each other. And what I can do, all these applications I've set up are set up with variables. I can connect to that environment and sync out all my base apps into my new customer's environment with all the variables, but also all the filters and actions. So if the customer says, I don't use iPhones, remove all the iPhone stuff from Liquit. So we can self-sync it. I can copy my live environment to a new one in under 2 minutes with all these applications, all configurations in it. So we did in Australia for one of the larger telcos. We did this actually. They're managing 50 VDI images. We narrowed it down to just 5 for them, including TTAP stages, using our technology. They are looking into Windows Virtual Desktop, but they say, well, it's impossible for us to get there on a short-term notice. We deployed 40 of their apps in under 2 days, including managing their VMware environment. This is something we've done with Microsoft, and it's really one of the largest in Australia.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Projects in Australia. All right. So what I understand is that it can run as a multi-tenanted environment, and possibly even white label that you can provide as well. Right.
Yep.
To the
every
MSP.
single button you see in Liquit, and this is also, it's designed by consultants. So consultants went developers. So our backend is 6.5 megabytes. Our agent is 1.1 megabyte, 1.2 megabytes. So it's really small. That's also why I can do it live. It's performing. But everything you see in Liquit can be, every button can be hidden, can be allowed, can be changed. But also every button and every action inside Liquit can be done by PowerShell. You can automate it all. Setting up a new environment, it can be extremely automated. We've got partners where the sales guys are going to the customers, and those typically are customers with thousands and above users. But the sales guy will go to, okay, are you going to be managed? Which is your AD? Just fill in some parameters, in a form. They click on save, and it will sync their apps that a sales guy got, and the environment is built automatically. Before 1 hour of consultancy, 80% of the apps and configuration is up and running before even starting. And this is a real world case with partners we are working on in Europe, and I think it's so extremely cool.
Oh wow, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So do you guys already have presence in Australia? So consultants, especially that telco company,
yes,
working with.
Yep.
Good.
So we are currently working with Microsoft on Australia, and also New Zealand. We've got presence on one of the airliners in Australia, telcos, but Microsoft reached out to us for another high-profile customer. Of course, we got some smaller customers running there, but we're also looking for partners. So if there's a consulting company who thinks this is cool, show me more, we are all partner-driven.
Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, we've got a lot of actually partners coming here to these kind of WVD user groups, and quite a few partners who are interested in new technologies, high tech like this, where it can be real value add to WVD, which Liquit is, and this is perfect add-on for this type of scenarios. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Any other questions, guys? Anyone else in the community here who is online at the moment? Anyone else has any questions on Liquit or anything else, integrations? Right.
Maybe one more question. When Chuck and Nico, you were talking about pricing, somewhere in the sentences you said depending on the features. Does that mean that the example that you gave of those 29 euros per year is a base version, and then if you want integration, for example, with more platforms, that the pricing go up, or?
No, so we've got basically everything I showed you is included, excluding that setup store. That is an add-on. So basically all image management, workspace management, connectors, and everything I showed you, smart icons, are standard workspace, but a setup store is like an add-on that we can automate from our store, those packages. If you do a lot of packaging work, we can help you with that, save a ton of workload and money. But there's also a separate solution we're selling to manage automation, Intune, System Center. We can also do that on separate platforms. So that's why it's a separate solution.
Okay, and can you give a pricing idea of that part?
10 euros per user.
Yeah, or in the, I don't know.
It's 10 euros per user for that part. So it's like, then it's becoming 39. That's the retail price.
Okay, so 10 euros, that's per year then?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
We can also do a per month.
Yeah, okay, but it's a big difference to have a price of 10 euros for a month or for a year.
It's per year. All these prices, so 29 and 10, are all per year.
Okay.
So then you have a full stack of stuff available. And but all I showed was basically also Liquid Workspace, and the setup store is really handy, especially for large and big enterprises having trouble managing their applications. And the thing I hate, that's personal, is like 10 years ago, I was a sysadmin or even longer, and you change those backup tapes every day again. It's a recurring task, you had to do it. Now today, we're repackaging applications every day again, and we're behind on Google Chrome. And this morning, there was a newsletter out that there's a big server leak in the Netherlands on Windows Server. Affected 1,200 servers because they didn't patch Exchange. What if we can simply patch it, but don't have to bother about those packaging things anymore? Then I can finally focus on cool stuff, because I don't want to update my Google Chrome every week, because it's updated every week. But for security, you need to do that. So if you can automate that, it will save you at least 4 hours per package per week. That's a lot of money.
That's pretty awesome. A question on pricing. So for MSPs, does it mean that MSPs will get, say, for example, monthly pricing on usage for the previous month? So will it be automatically reported on licensed usage for the previous month?
Yeah, we can track license usage, and we ask our MSPs to report it ourselves. It's a little bit on a friendly base, so it's not hard metered, hard limited. We can do that if we want to, but it's like if you're going one over the limit, it's no problem. It will be billed for MSPs afterwards, and of course, every price we said were retail prices.
Okay. Nice. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, guys. I think let me just see if anyone else is there. Yeah, no more questions. So, yeah, I think we might as well wrap up the session. So I really thank you guys for coming over and helping us to understand about Liquit technology and how it all works.
No worries. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Still there. Get your own environment, follow the training, get the video, play around. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me in late evening or the evening or the early morning from Europe. And Chuck, wish you good night, my friend.
Yes. Cheers, everyone. Thank you.